What is up, y'all? Listen, I am back with another video, with another episode of the God Told Me To series. Whew! If y'all have been following me up to this point, y'all should know all about the crazy stories that I have when God told me to do something. Whether obedient or disobedient, it doesn't matter, because what the will of the Lord still prevailed. And to add on to all of the amazing content that I have given you guys so far, this is by far my favorite story. God told me to buy a house. Whew. All right. Let's go ahead, get her done. Picture it. 1975. I'm just playing. Okay, here we go. Here we are. November 9th, 2018. It was the day after my birthday. God woke me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I heard God tell me that it was time to buy a house. Now, because I was half asleep, I just said, okay, cool. Buying a house it is. But as soon as I woke up, so many things started running through my mind. What? How? When? Who? With what money? I was like, I am a fresh, brand new 23-year-old. I don't need to be thinking about a house. I'm fresh out of college. Give me the rent. Why am I like this? All jokes aside, I was like, this, people my age aren't doing this. People my age aren't buying houses. What for? Give me an apartment so I can pay rent. That's what people my age are doing. Let me be normal. And to make matters better, on January 1st, 2019, my pastor prophesied over the entire church, over the entire congregation, and said that this would be the year of ownership. Now, immediately, I was like, okay, clearly I'm not crazy. God said what he said. So in all excitement, I found a realtor who connected me to a lender. They began to walk me through the whole process of what it would take to be an owner of a home, right? Once I saw the steps, I was like, oh, breeze. This is going to be a breeze. I am going to buy this house in 6 months, period. This expectation came to a screeching halt when I realized I didn't have anything that they needed. I didn't have step 1 or step 2. I didn't have 2 years of work experience. I had deferred student loan debts. I was living from couch to couch ever since I graduated from college, so I didn't have a consistent living situation. I didn't have any money for a down payment, closing cost, earnest money. My life was a complete contradiction to what God had said. But because he promised, only because he promised, I made a plan. So I started saving. I started saving everything that I could. I was doing hair on the side, working at the call center. If you want to catch up on that story, follow this link right here. I was rooming with the church member, and we agreed that I would be moved out by mid-May of 2019, right? I declared that I would find a house and be moved out in 6 months. Needless to say, that didn't happen, but let me explain. By April, I only had half the money that I was shooting for the down payment. My student loans were still accumulating, and I was helping with half of my church members' rent and the utilities. And so in order for me to have had a fighting chance at my goal for the down payment, I couldn't be able to pay my side of the rent and the utilities for that month. And I figured my church member would understand, right? We sat down, we talked, and I told her everything that was going on, how far I was in my savings, and I told her, what I needed in order to be substantially close to my goal, right? She said I had to come up with the rent money at the beginning of the month, and if I didn't, I had to be moved out before May hit. So I had to find and close on a house in 1 to 2 weeks. I was hot. I was physically hot. And I didn't have a room to go to. I was sleeping in her living room. I had my own bed in the corner of the living room. I couldn't even run to my room, y'all. I ran to the bathroom and just sat on the bathroom floor and just started crying because I remembered what God had said, but nothing in my life was agreeing with it. And I was like, God, what am I supposed to do? By His grace, my friend was able to let me stay at her apartment as she had 2 months left on her lease. And so when I moved out in May, I had 2 months to figure out where I was going next. I could go ahead and still save as much as I could, find and close on a house in 2 months. That was the new plan. At 1 week after I moved into my friend's apartment, God told me to quit my job. Bruh, are you trying to help me or not? This doesn't look or sound right. This is dumb. I said, God, are you on my side or not? How are you expecting me to buy a house when you keep asking me to do these impossible things? This is ghetto. And as I was in that season of just not knowing what was God's voice, what wasn't God's voice, what He was trying to say to me, what He wasn't trying to say to me, and me even questioning if everything He had said to me up to that point was right. Out of pure faith, I used the money that I was saving for my down payment to publish The Source. I had completely given up on buying a house because I said, surely, if this is where I am right now, after 6 months, there's no way I'm gonna be able to buy a house before the end of this year. So let me just publish this book out of faith to say, God, at least I was able to do something that you told me to do this year. By the end of July, which was around the time her lease was supposed to be up, my friend let me stay at her new place, and she was able to get me a job at her current workplace. And it was cool. It was cool. It was a very simple job. I was able to do my job and keep it moving. It wasn't stressful or anything of the sort. I actually liked it. It was very simple. And if you wanna catch up on how this second job story went, you can hit this link right here. But I had completely given up on buying a house. I just said that I am just gonna stay with my friend as long as I can and just figure it out later, probably next year. Next year will probably be better. After I had given up on buying a house this year, everything around me kept telling me to try again. Like literally, I kid you not, everything kept saying, try again, try again, try again. I can't try again, Lord. This hurt. You said you was gonna do this. But the only thing was, He said that He would do it, but He didn't say how. And that's where my expectations were disappointed, because I thought that God was going to do it how I thought He was going to do it. I said, Lord, I can't. I depended on you to do things how I wanted you to do them, and you didn't. So I'd rather not trust you with this right now. If we can be completely honest, we all have been in a place where we said, God, I'd rather not trust you with this. I can't handle another heartbreak from this expectation. Please, please, go on somewhere. Like, leave this part alone. But everything in me kept saying, try again, try again. And I was like, you know what? Whatever, fine, I'll try again. But when it fails, I'm done. That's what I said, y'all. So this has to be it, because I'm not doing this anymore if it doesn't work out. I started reaching out to lenders, trying to see how much I could actually get for a house. And at this time, I still had student loan debt. I was only working the job that I had for 3 months, and I just bought a car. Like I told y'all, I gave up. Now I had car debt, student loans, 3 months of work history, and 2 months of a new living situation. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. And the lender said if I could make $1 more than what I'm currently making on this job, then he would be able to help me get to the loan that I need in order to get a decent house, right? And I kid y'all not, it was so funny because as I was on the phone on my break, the manager of that location walked into the room and walked back out. And I looked at him, I reflected on how long I had been on this job, and I said, I'm working on it. knowing good and well that I was not gonna ask that man for a raise after 3 months. The assistant manager at the home office found another job. So because he knew who I was, he asked me if I was willing to fill that position. Now, granted, he asked a few other people around the company, but it seems as though I was the only one that was actually available. That'll preach. 2 weeks after I spoke with that lender and said that I was working on it, when I really wasn't, God was working on it. I got promoted to the assistant manager and I started making, unfortunately, $1 more. So I was like, bet, that's all I need. Let me call the bank back and tell them what happened so we can start working towards this house, right? Got pre-qualified for a loan. Even though I was trying again at a slower pace. And so once I got pre-qualified, I was like, cool, at least I know I'm pre-qualified. I got comfortable. I was like, okay, since I know that I'm pre-qualified, let me just take this time to start saving my money up again for this down payment or this earnest money or whatever's going to be required, right? At my friend's place, she said I can stay as long as I need to. I'm gonna hide away in this guest room over here and be to myself, move in silence, rack up this money, and then when I'm ready, I'm going to buy this house. As soon as I decided to maintain that type of heart posture, we got rats, fam, rats, mice, rodents. We had them in the house. I'll never forget the day or the night. As soon as I went to sleep, I was sleeping soundly like a baby in my bed, and I was reaching my hands in between the warms of my thighs. Y'all know when y'all trying to get warm, you put your hand right there in between your thighs so you can get the maximum comfort. Y'all, I know for a fact, you can't tell me, because I know I felt something furry and fuzzy under the blanket. I lost my entire mind. So I signed on to Zillow. I just started scrolling and I found something because I wrote everything down that I actually wanted. It didn't have everything that I wanted. And even if it did, it was at the bare minimum of what I was expecting, right? Like, it has potential. And since it has potential, I'm gonna deal with it. So after 6 months, I reached out to my realtor and said, hey, I think I found something. Can we take a look at it? And she said, sure, let's do it. So we met at the address and she didn't like it. No, she didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. So we stepped outside of the house and we just began to pray. And she said, every crooked way, Lord, make it straight. Everything that needs to be for me, let it be for me. And everything that's not, don't let it be. She said, take a look at that listing that I sent you one more time, okay? And I was like, yeah, okay. I stumbled across this one house. It had everything I wanted and everything that I liked on the outside. It was a little bit out of my price range, but I figured, why not? So I reached out to my realtor and I said, hey, I like this one. And she said, sure, this Saturday, let's go take a look. November 9th, 2019. Exactly 1 year after God told me to buy a house, we ended up looking at the house that I was soon to buy. It had everything that I wrote down that I wanted, like all the way down to the white cabinets. Overall, I was like, okay, I like this one. So can we put an offer in on it? And she said, absolutely. She drew up the offer that night. We sent it off to the seller and his agent. 1 week exactly, November the 18th, 2019, they accepted the offer. And that jump-started us into the underwriting process. Okay, get you something to drink, let's take a break, and let's make this a part 2. I'll catch y'all in the next one, okay? Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up, stand up. Oh, hey everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Are you ready for part 2? Put a comment below and let me know. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell on the side, because as you see, I be posting. But y'all act like y'all don't be seeing it, but I know y'all be seeing it. Y'all just be acting like y'all don't. And last but not least, like this video simply because you love me. And like always, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.